Hi Flosstube, it's me, it's Danielle. I am back-ish. I'm back for today. So in case you're new here, my name is Danielle and my pronouns are she, her, and this is my Flosstube channel where I talk mainly about cross stitch, sometimes maybe very occasionally some other kind of craft, and sometimes things that are important to me. It has been 84 years since my last Flosstube update. Just kidding, it's been about 10 weeks. I try to film an update monthly, but life has been, I still sometimes struggle to come up with like a more appropriate or acceptable word to substitute for crazy. It came to me when I was saying that out loud. Life has been absurd. Wacky, absurd. So today I'm gonna do a little bit of a life update, and I'm gonna show you my cross stitching, and I'm not gonna show you haul because haul has become overwhelming for me to like contain it all in one place and wait until this arbitrary, time of showing it to you and then having to put it all away before anything else comes in. I actually, about a month ago, just like I had been, holding on to things for at that point like 6 weeks, and it overwhelmed me and I put everything away. Like reorganized my craft area and just was like, I can't do this anymore. So I don't know how much haul I'll show in the future. It was just overwhelming me, so I had to put it down. But I have plenty of cross stitching to show you. But the last time we had spoke, my husband's foot was just injured. We didn't really know what was going on with it. I thought maybe it was like a tendon or ligament or something. But it turns out that it is quite a bit worse than that. He has something called Charcot foot. And basically like his foot was trying to crush itself. And so, it's permanent. His foot is the way it is now, unless there is like a reconstructive surgery, but that would really only be done if his foot doesn't stabilize to the point of being able to use it. And right now, that is the course that we are on, is that his foot is stabilizing. So he, almost immediately after my last update, he had to go into a cast and be non-weight bearing on his right foot. Ice machine. Oh, wasn't as loud as I thought it was gonna be. So he obviously is not working. That has left a lot of the things that he did do to help me, he is not able to do. There's some, it's been okay, like it's an okay balance, because even though I am doing more than I was doing before with him not going to work, he's able to kind of care for his brother during the day, which is what I was doing while he was at work. And honestly, I find that to be more challenging than like the extra housework and stuff. So, but it's a very, like, obviously it's stressful and it's overwhelming, and and it's been, so he's been in the cast now for the almost 10 weeks since I filmed. I think he went into it on April 7th. What day is today? Today is Thursday. In 6 days, on Wednesday next week, he has another check-in with the podiatrist. He goes weekly for cast changes, but he has a check-in with the podiatrist monthly, and at the last monthly check-in, the podiatrist told him that as long as the next set of x-rays look good, like look as he's expecting them to look, then he will be fitted into a walking cast. So that means bearing weight again. And while obviously he's still not gonna be able to drive or go to work, there will be a few things that he will be able to take back over, take off my plate. And it will just make life a little bit like mobility. Better mobility is always, you know, better, duh, right? Like it's been, you know, just getting out of the house to go do the cast changes is challenging because every exit point we have, there's at least like a 2-step down. Well, I guess out of cumulatively, the garage is 2 steps down. The back patio is only 1 step down, but then there's another step to get off the patio to the walkway. And in the front, there's a 1 step down to the porch, and then a 2-step down to the actual like driveway. So, you know, just to get out of the house has been challenging. So, you know, just to be able to like go out the front door again will be lovely. He actually can't really like say like a package came to the door and it was a miracle of a person who waited for you to get to the door. He can't even get to the door because our entryway, we have a baby gate that blocks our dogs from getting to the front door. And it has like a bar, like a threshold that you have to get over. And I mean, he could probably, you know, I wouldn't want like the scooter that he's using to damage the baby gate by rolling over that bar. And then the entryway is just too tight for him to navigate turning around because he's using a knee scooter where you just put your knee, you rest your knee on the scooter of your bad leg, and then you use, you know, your good foot to propel you. So better mobility will be a relief, and we're hoping he has disability insurance through the end of September. The podiatrist seems to think the issue will be resolved by the end of August. So I guess that means like 2 months in the walking cast. I don't know. But that's what's been going on. And honestly, that's a huge reason why I haven't filmed. I mean, I have just, by the end of the day, when he's in bed and my brother-in-law's in bed and I just want to stitch. And for a while I was watching Gilmore Girls. I finished my rewatch of Gilmore Girls. I just wanted to stitch and be in Stars Hollow. like I just like putting all this together, sitting down, even though, and I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but to me, even though I'm myself, sitting down in front of the camera, it feels performative. It feels, there's effort, there's mental effort that goes into it, and I'm tired, y'all. I'm just tired and stressed and overwhelmed. So I did have a lovely subscriber reach out to me, checking in, being like, I've been waiting to see your update and I haven't seen you, like, are you okay? So thank you. Teresa, I think your handle is Twessa? Tiwesa? I don't know how to say your handle, but thank you, Teresa, for reaching out and checking on me. I appreciate that. And there's been a lot of days where I'm like, I should film, and then if I sit down, Like after I kind of get all the chores done for the night, if I sit down on the couch with the stitching or even just with TV, it's over. The next time I'm getting up is like, I'm ready to go to bed. But tonight, earlier, I was just kind of feeling like, okay, I think I'm ready. I think I'm finally ready to like sit down and do this. So, I have 4 finishes and 3 whips. I've actually been fairly monogamously stitching, kind of, but like for me, like 10 weeks, I feel like that's not a lot of projects to have touched. So I tend to like only spend 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and then move on to something else. But I dedicated a good chunk of time to a couple projects to get really good progress. One is a finish and one is really good progress. So I've been pretty pleased. I do still wish it was more, but I guess that's always gonna be the case, right? Like, I think we always wish we had more time and more progress. But the first thing I want to show you guys, I can't remember if I'd actually pulled this out and shown you at the end of my last Flosstube, or if I put down whatever the last thing I was working on. Like I think I might have filmed like, okay, here is what I worked on. I'm putting this down now to pick this up. But regardless, I wanted to stitch on my Gilmore Girls sampler, which is designed by somebody in the group The Enablers on Facebook. I joined that group specifically for the stitch along because I'd seen it on Instagram and was told that that is where I could find it. It is free. You just have to join the group The Enablers on Facebook, and it's in their files. I started this in April of 2021 and I finished it in April of 2022. I started it in April of during that 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. It was my start and the only thing I worked on that whole weekend, and I think I got like 20 hours in on it. And when I picked it up, I do have a picture of the last time you saw it. So this is where I was starting from, and I would say that it was, I think I was like over 50, but maybe not 60% done. So you're gonna see here in a second, that's a lot. I did a lot to finish it. I did break it up. I'll show you my next 2 things, which are finishes I did in between finishing. Like I worked on this for a while, did the other 2 things, came back to this because I was so close. I knew I could do it. I was like, I need to finish it. So here it is. So this is, again, it's a Gilmore Girls sampler. I stitched it on a piece of 16 count Aida from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. It was the January February 2021 fabric of the month. It was like the first one I got from her. And these are all Gilmore Girls related. And I watched the show while I stitched. I made it all the way through. For like the second time, I kind of went back to it. Like I was going pretty strong with this and another project last year while I was watching it and stuff, but then I kind of didn't touch it for so long that I wanted to start the show over again, so I started over. I am one of those people that like, I could probably be happy with somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 TV shows, watching them infinitely for the rest of my life. But it's an anxiety thing. But yeah, so she's done. Oh, and the only modification that I made, so in the middle, the charted motif in the middle was just a gazebo. Like imagine that this sign wasn't there and it was just the gazebo. But I knew that I really wanted the sign represented because I love the sign. And so I put out a call on the Facebook group for like, you know, hey, could anybody help me chart this? Cause you know, I don't chart things. I am not artistic. And somebody was like, yeah, what do you want? What do you need? And so she charted it for me. and unfortunately, I should have used a darker blue. She charted it in that blue, this lighter blue in the hat, and the white probably would have popped off that. I mean, it certainly would have off of that blue. But I was like, no, I'm gonna use the lighter blue, which is the blue that's up here in this bobbin, because that's closer to the sign, it's true color. And then the white back stitching, it was so lost. And she did try to come up with a different solution for me. I just didn't, I liked how the original charting looked. It looked most true, so I just decided to go with a dark, I think it's $37.99, to backstitch the words Stars Hollow, founded 1779. But yeah, so that was my big finish. I mean, this thing has almost 10,000 stitches plus a bejesus bazillion amount of back stitches. Not really, but a lot of back stitches. And actually there were things I should have backstitched that I didn't, because when working in Pattern Keeper, it doesn't show you the back stitch, and the motif would look fine to me. And then I'd go into the actual PDF because I knew there was backstitch on something else. And I'd see, oh, I was supposed to backstitch that. Like the banana, this banana is supposed to have that brown is supposed to like backstitch the whole thing plus add a line right there. I was like, the banana looks fine. I'm not going back and backstitching now. So I know I was supposed to backstitch the banana. I feel like I should have backstitched Oi, because like under most lighting conditions, it kind of fades away. We're not going back now. She's done. I kind of want to put her into a frame. I love the idea of pillows, but I don't know where I would put a pillow because I'm certainly not going to use a pillow. Not something that I cross stitch, not unless I could like vinyl front it. If I could vinyl front, but then would it really be a comfortable pillow? I don't know. So kind of want to put her in a frame. I have 3 Gilmore Girl pieces, so I think it would be cool to end up having like a wall, you know? So that is that. Now I had worked on that for a couple weeks and I was feeling the burnout, and so I was like, I want to do something. Well, actually my initial thought was I'm gonna pick out, I knew what my next project was gonna be. I thought I was gonna finish that and then do this. But I made the mistake of picking out my floss and fabric, and then I was too excited and I had to work on it. And I think it only took me 3 or 4 days. I think I worked on this for 3 or 4 days. But this was so cute. And like I said, I made the mistake of picking out fabric and floss, so it was getting started. This is, I think it's just called the Fox from Wild Violet Cross Stitch Designs. I saw it, I saw her put it on Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. And I used, so this is, I just watched Imogen's latest Flosstube, and they were like, when we talk about our floss, we shouldn't say like, oh, I didn't use the called for. I used uncalled for, uncalled for floss. So this, okay, first of all, this fabric, which is such an awesome shade of purple, is by Live and Dye LA. They do have a website, but they mainly operate on Facebook. And then I used, okay, it's been a while. So the gray is a Dinky Dyes. I had actually just gotten my haul from Fire Poppies when I decided to do this, and it was still kind of sitting out, and I was like, I pulled a Dinky Dyes. Distant Thunder, I want to say, was the gray. Then the gold, I want to say I did a Silk and Thread, Silk Gatherers, Gold Coast, something like that. The flower petals are a Fibralicious Yummy Fiber Silk. Everything is silk except the black. So the flowers are a fiberlicious yummy fiber silk that's variegated. I want to say it was like a unicorn something. And then the black is, I didn't have a good black in silk, so I pulled a color in cotton that I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it was too stinking cute, and I had to stitch it. And I love how it looks on the purple fabric. So while I was stitching this, the only thing I could think about while I was doing it was how I was just loving this purple fabric so much, and for some reason I thought about the Quirky Quaker penguin. Hold on, my dog is doing something. Hey, go lay down. Do you want pets? Do you want pets? You need to go lay down. Sorry, y'all, had to tend to the dog. Anyway, so did I say guys or y'all? If I said guys, sorry, y'all, I had to tend to the dog. So all I could think about was this purple fabric, right? And that I somehow got the Quirky Quaker penguin in my head, and I was like, same black, right? Same black and the same purple fabric, but Quirky Quaker penguin. This is like half of an FFO, because I'll show you why. Look at him, he's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. But he's only half of an FFO because I haven't dealt with the atrocious amount of fabric that I have. I'm just holding it right now. But okay, so same black, same color in cotton. And then what I did was I took the idea from Michelle Bendy to do the belly and the snowflake / ground in two different whites. So the belly is a dinky dye. Again, I had all the dinky dyes from my haul. So, and then the white, I don't remember what I used, but I just pulled, it's not DMC, it's a fancy floss. And then I pulled a Bestitch Me silk. It was back from Halloween, just to do those beak and feet stitches, but oh, he's so cute. I love him so stinking much. And on the purple, I just love this fabric. It's so good. So good. So then I was like, okay, I'm ready to go back to Gilmore Girls. So I went back to Gilmore Girls and I finished it. I was so happy. I might have technically finished it in May. I can't remember. I know I said April, but it might have been May. So then I picked up my Drama Llama sampler. Hold please, I've left myself a mess in here, of course, because I'm so kind to myself. So I was feeling kind of, ragey about things going on in the world. And for me, I don't necessarily need to have a stitch specific to an issue, especially because I feel like so many of the issues in our society come back to white patriarchy that I'm okay with just like kind of a general statement, a general protest statement. So this is my, well, it's not my first. I actually had a piece last year that I did that said, keep your bands off my body. So this is the second protest piece that I have, and I kind of always want to have a protest piece whip. I have a pattern in my stash by Pickle Barrel Designs, and it says, what is a queen without a king? Well, historically speaking, more powerful. That'll probably be the next one I start after Drama Llama. And then I also want to buy Dr. Christie, her pattern that she charted from an artist who did a design, and she charted it in sort of honor of it being 5-year anniversary from the Women's March in 2017. And she calls it her Still Marching hashtag Still Marching Sal. And it says chin up, fangs out. So anyway, long story to say. So I was feeling kind of ragey. That was about the time the Roe v. Wade leaked Supreme Court decision or draft came down, and so I wanted to stitch on something. So this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. According to Pattern Keeper, I was about 28% done, and now I basically filled the Q-snap again. The last time I worked on it, I filled the Q-snap and I did it again. I am so happy. It's so wrinkled. I am so happy with these colors. The fabric, I adore the fabric. And the fabric is also Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, Fabric of the Month from last year. It's called Chairific. And then I'm using, let me show you my flosses before. So this is an unnamed purple from Dying for Cross Stitch. It has the slightest variegation in it, but you really don't see it in the crosses. Not really, a little bit, but not much. But it's unnamed. And then this green, if I can get it unspooled, is called Moana Manaki from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And I'm a little disappointed in myself. I take full blame for this. When I started this project, I knew that I was not gonna have enough. So I had this skein and I knew that I was not gonna have enough. So it's like, oh, I'll just get on there and I'll order 3 skeins, be fine. Well, when people tell you to have enough floss to do your project, you should believe them. Because so what I had done was I started with the skein that I had, and then I ordered more and it came, and I was like, all right, cool, just throw it in the bag. It's fine. It'll be here when I need it, right? So I stitched and I stitched and I stitched. And now if I hold this up again, you can probably see it if you're looking for it. So what I stitched was this green border and this green border, hold on, this green border, and most of the letters in green that are in the first half. Actually, no, I did the letters. I did the C, D, G, H, and O, P. K, L, and S, T are in the new. But regardless, so can you see? Oh, and I did this middle border too. Look at the middle border compared to the llama. Like the llama, and I don't have great lighting here. You know, we could fold it down. We could make our lives easier, right? Right. Okay. So there, oh, look how much easier that is. So can you see how much greener and less variegated the llama is than this border? So, I mean, it's fine. I'm gonna live with it because there is no way that I was gonna tear out everything that I had already stitched in that green. Are you ridiculous? But I made sure that I kept enough of this to finish. There's like 20 more stitches in the border on that side. Need to finish that border in that. And then honestly, all I have left, she says, is, you know, connect the borders, yeah. There's an alphabet and a set of numbers, and that's it. And there's a doodad under the llamas. There's a doodad. But yeah, so I love this piece. I cut my fabric down so that I really started it in a really poor spot of the fabric. But I was only planning to do the llamas. I wasn't planning to do that much border, but I moved my Q-snap to make the llamas more central, and then I figured out I could actually get to the bottom border, so I did it. Yeah, so when it goes back on the snap, I'll finish off this side, and then just one more move to do that side. And I think I'm at 70% done, I wanna say, something like that. So I feel like I definitely want this to be done this year. I'm hoping. I have a couple goals that I'd like to finish before my birthday, which is in 3 months, but they're big goals, y'all, big goals. But I feel like this would be easy to finish before that point. So I do have another finish, but I'm gonna actually just keep going in chronological order. So after I put down Drama my friend and I had a start planned, and we'd planned to start it on her birthday, which was May 28th, but it's fine. I wanted to get that llama done, and it took me a few those llamas, I should say. And it took me a few extra days than I had wanted to, but I was just like, I can't leave it like this. The llamas have to get done. So I wanted the llamas done, so I finished the llamas, and then I did my new start. So yes, this is a new start. I don't really want new whips, but this is small, and the plan was to start it on her birthday, which was May 28th, be finished by my birthday, which is September 29th. And I think it's totally doable. So it doesn't, once it's done, you know, it doesn't really like add to my whip count. And I finished Gilmore Girls, so I'm neutral, right? I'm neutral. So we had seen this pattern at, I want to say it was the second expo in 2021. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like we should stitch this for each other. And Heather, I swear, if you were watching this, do not look at my progress, because I already promised to keep this off Instagram, because she does kind of just fool around on Instagram, you know? So I didn't want it popping up on her feed, but she doesn't really watch YouTube videos, at least not very seriously. So if you happen to watch this, Heather, don't cheat, no cheating. Like, I should be able to show this on my Flosstube. Anyway, so it is by Teresa Kogut, and it is called Soul Sister, or Soul Sisters. And we were like, I was like, let's just like use stuff out of our stash and like just make it super personalized and special, right? So I'll show you what I've done, and then I will show you the colors, and I will try to explain like where I'm putting colors, because I am doing, again, this is all uncalled for floss. Well, almost all. So uncalled for. I was cracking up when Imogen was talking about that. So it's loud, y'all. It's loud. So this is what I have so far. This is the width of the piece. I was super intelligent and gave myself so much margin for my Q-snap there. So it's a bit of a struggle to stitch right here, but I make it work. It's fine. There's actually not that much more that I'll have to stitch that's that close to the side, so it'll be fine. So first, the fabric is actually hand-dyed fabric by Jessie from Miss Laid Pages. I don't remember what it's called, but she told me she's pretty sure she dyed it before writing stuff down, so probably can't recreate it anyway. But I got like a half a yard of it. I have a lot of it, and it's fun, right? Like, it's so fun, and it's loud, and I love it. So what we're doing here are my colors, except I'm not gonna change their hair or their skin, because I'm not brave enough to change either. And we are both white ladies. It's okay. But like the hair with having the 3 shades, I'm just not, and we're both darker haired. Like she has dyed hair a lot. I thought about doing purple hair for her because she dyes her hair purple a lot, but I'm not brave enough. So they're gonna have brown hair and white skin. But everything else is not the same. So the flowers are these 3 colors. So if you see, the flowers have got an outline and a middle and then like a center. So my outline is that sort of medium color. There we go. The medium colored pink at the bottom. The very center, dark center, is that fuchsia color, and then the bulk of the stitches is going to be this light color that I haven't filled in yet. Next, we have, okay, bottom border. I just thought the colors in this were just kind of not, it's not bad, but they're just muted and they're not my kind of colors at all. So in the bottom, do you see how it's a solid color? My solid color is going to be this blue. And then there's like a dark oblong shape. That's going to be purple. And then the little like little star type things, the white is going to be white. I couldn't really find another color that I wanted to use, so I just decided all those white flecks will be white. But that sort of tan, like just a hair darker than the border that's in there, is going to be mint green. So that's the colors for the bottom border. Yeah. Next, so my basket. So the basket that they're holding, I'm gonna do it in, so the basket has like a top and a bottom that's like a dark color. I'm gonna make it this like flamingo-y pink. And then the middle part of it, except for the heart. Oh, the heart is also gonna be that pink, but the middle part is gonna be that light pink from the flowers. The soul sister and the heart, which I've already stitched the heart, is in this red. And then, oh, so then for the eyes and the handle and the eyes and their belts on the dresses, I just picked out this kind of charcoaly, it's reading a little brown on camera, but it's gray. It's very, very charcoaly. So that's gonna be their belt, their eyes, and the basket handles. Then the dresses. Oh, I'm so excited for these dresses. So when I was thinking about like what I wanted to do for her, she is like a huge fan of kind of like retro colors, that whole like orange, pink, brown, like chocolate brown with orange and pink. And I love those colors too. I don't tend to decorate with them, but whenever I see, like, she's got pillows and like throws and like furniture coverings and stuff, and I love it. And I'm really attracted to that color palette too. So I was like, I want these to be kind of those colors. So if you see the dresses, I've got a light blue and a dark blue. Yeah. So for me, and I haven't fully decided which will be which yet, but the light blue and the dark blue are gonna be this pink and this orange. Hell yeah, right? And then if you can see, it has got those little patterns made up of sort of a tan and a white. The tan color, actually, I haven't totally decided which is which yet either. Actually, no, the tan color is gonna be kind of this like limey green. And then what's white in the pattern, I'm gonna make chocolate brown. I'm telling you, I know it's loud, I asked her, I was like, is there anything I should just straight up avoid? Oh, and I'm done with it now, but this is the color I used for the vines to connect the flowers. But I asked her, I was like, is there anything that I should straight up avoid? And she's like, nope. And so I picked everything and I was like, it's loud. And she's like, I'm okay with that. So yeah, this is my start. I have put it down for now because now I'm working on something else that I'm going to show you. Well, actually no, first I have my finish. So I put this down because I wanted to stitch something really bad. And I guess this one kind of has to come with a story. Otherwise it's not gonna make a whole heck of a lot of sense. I swear I would get under an hour someday. I might be able to do it in this video, but there's a story. So it's June, it's Pride Month, right? And I've always had 2S LGBTQIA plus community members in my life since I was a teenager. My best friend, he wasn't out or didn't know it, I guess, at the time, but my best friend when I was in middle school, he is gay. I had several gay friends as teenagers. I met my best friend when I was like 21 or 22, and she is trans. She wasn't out as trans then. She identified as a gay male because she didn't realize that she was trans until later. But I've just always had members of the community in my life. And so, of course, and I find cross stitch to be absolutely no different. I am very drawn and very gravitated towards members of the community. So Dee from Dee's 20 Stitches put together this year a Stitch for Pride, hashtag Stitch for, the number 4, Pride 2022, and they compiled a massive amount of research. So basically every day is a new topic, something to learn, and then they made a stitching prompt that matches the topic. I am not big on switching projects frequently, but I really wanted to do all of the learning, right? So, but before that, a couple months before that, I had been, this feels so weird to me. I don't really know. And it's funny, I made a post about it on Instagram, but it feels kind of weird to like talk about it. I don't know. But anyway, a couple months before that, I'd say maybe like in March or early April maybe, I was in a Twitch stream and everybody started talking about their celebrity crushes and like celebrities that they're attracted to. And I just was like, I have nothing to contribute to this conversation. And obviously it's not the first time I found myself in a conversation where people were talking about like, oh, so-and-so, they're so whatever. It was the first time I noticed like how much I felt like I didn't belong, how much I felt like I didn't connect to people. And so I started that was kind of in the back of my head. Like, what is this? What is this feeling of not connecting on this subject, you know? And I did like a lot of thinking about past relationships and past behaviors. And I was starting to wonder if I fall somewhere on the asexual spectrum. And so I was doing like a little bit, like not much. I was mostly just thinking about it. But I only know one person who like in person that I've spoken to. I have several people around me like on Instagram, but I had only ever really spoken to one asexual person before, and so I really didn't know a lot about it. But it was sort of in the back of my head, like, So fast forward to Pride Month starting, and I was doing all this reading, right? And it really kind of put me in a frame of mind to do more reading about what I had been thinking about for myself, and reading and watching videos and whatnot. And on the 9th, the prompt was actually about asexuality, about sort of like the rising of the asexual community online, online forums and stuff like that. And somebody on Instagram, Kaylee from Kaylee Cross Stitch, she shared in her stories like the image of the prompt for the day, but then it was a video. Like Dee didn't provide the video. She had linked a video of her own, like she didn't make the video. I'm not articulating this very well. She had linked a video that she had found and linked it in association to the topic of asexuality. And I clicked on it, and when I clicked on it, I thought it might have been the material provided by Dee, because I hadn't done the prompt that day yet. But so I get to the video, and it was from a creator, Instagrammer, YouTuber called Ace Dad Advice. And the video, which is about a year old, was talking about, hold please. Okay, the dog will probably interrupt me again. He was finally like, no, it's been nearly an hour of you not giving me attention, so I need to go out now. And unfortunately with him, he will pee on things if he does not get what he wants. So anyway, he'll probably interrupt me again because he'll want in eventually, or start barking, and I can't let him bark at, 2:45 in the morning. So the video was Ace Dad Advice, how to know, it was like Asexuality 101, how do you know if you're asexual? And not only did I find his explanation of asexuality it made a lot of sense to me, like talking about how fluid sexuality is and how much society tangles up things like sexuality and desire and whatnot, how much that's all tangled together. And when you really boil down what asexuality is about and what it's not about, that was very helpful to me. But I realized that some of my reservation was not about feeling like I identified with asexuality. It was, what if I'm wrong? What if this isn't what this is? What if I am an imposter, what if I'm having some kind of imposter syndrome because I can pass, because nobody is going to make automatic negative assumptions about my sexuality? What if I say that I am asexual and I'm wrong, or I'm not, or I'm whatever, am I taking up space that I shouldn't be occupying? And what the video did for me most of all was it gave me permission to, that if this is what makes sense to me, then I am. Told y'all. The barking, it's always the barking. But so if this makes sense to me, then this is what I am. And people are not static, you know, creatures. Like, we grow, we evolve, we change. If someday that label doesn't make sense to me, then that's okay. I haven't been an imposter. I haven't been taking up space that I don't belong in. So it just really spoke to all of those reservations and sort of like anxiety and fear that I had about this. So when I sort of like, and it was just like wow, like, and it was a very like aha light bulb moment. And so I immediately wanted to stitch this specific thing that I'm about to show you here in a second. That dog is exhausting. Okay. So I wanted to stitch this, sort of, I guess, like as my coming out, like commemorating making this decision, like accepting this part of me. And honestly, for me, it's really just about understanding and having a name for, you know, something that I haven't really understood for a long time. But so Deanna from Darling and Whimsy designed a small little pride quirky Quaker, and she designed it with several flags. I don't want to say all because there's a lot of flags. Several flags, and so I stitched the one for asexual. And I had already really been planning to stitch this with the rainbow flag. And I almost still did it as the rainbow flag because I love the rainbow colors. But what I decided to do, I really wanted the flag, like, hello. So I decided to stitch it in, the border is that Threadworks Bradley Balloons rainbow thread. The black is a silk from Bestitch Me. The gray is a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. The white is, actually it's the white that I'm using in the Soul Sisters piece, which I think is a Forbidden Fiber Co. As is the purple. It's a Forbidden Fiber Co. And that's also the purple from the Soul Sisters. And then, oh, and then the doodads were another Stitchy Silk. Selena's Moon. So I stitched that in one night. It's my first true SAF, like start and finish. In one session, I started and finished a stitch. First time I've done that. And the fabric is a 32 count hand-dyed Lugana, also dyed by Jessie. So yeah, that's a finish. And then I wanted to, I don't know what got in my head to do this, but I wanted to pull out the Trans Pride tapestry. Hold please. But I have, since I started Trans Pride Tapestry, a more perfect fabric has come into my life. So the last time you saw Trans Pride, she looked like this. I had 2 flowers outlined and was starting on another flower. And I do like the color of this fabric, and I think that Trans Pride Tapestry would have looked really good on this fabric, but I do absolutely despise that it is 18 count because I can't stand stitching on 18 count. I think for me, if I'm ever going to stitch on it, I just need to accept the coverage of one strand because I prefer the coverage of 2 strands. but it's so bulky that it's not fun to work with. So I didn't particularly enjoy stitching on it. But since starting that last year, I bought this fabric in a D-stash, and it's the most perfect soft blues and soft pinks, which, and of course the Trans Pride colors are soft blue, soft pink, and white. So I restarted her. And this time, since I can't get down quite as far on the Q-snap as the other one, I decided to fill in the flowers as I go. So I've actually have more stitches in this than by about 50 or 100 than the other one. So I'm ahead. I restarted, but I'm ahead of where I was. And yeah, I just love, it's just this such soft pink and blue. Sometimes the pink comes out kind of purpley in my pictures, but in person, and there are hints, but I read it as pink. So yeah, love it. And I'm sure if you know, you follow Dee and Kari, you've seen that they released the companion piece, which is Lesbian Pride Tapestry, and of course I bought that right away, even though I'm only 4% done with Trans Pride Tapestry. What can I say, right? What can I say? Okay, so I don't have, like I said, I'm not going to bother with haul. I've mainly put everything away. Plans, I'm going to keep stitching on Trans Pride Tapestry until I don't feel like stitching on it anymore. I would like to put some more work into Soul Sisters. I would at least like to get the flowers filled in, which is only about another 250 stitches, but that's like threading my needle 20 times because it's the individual 10 individual flowers times 2 colors. So that's a lot of rethreading the needle. So that's going to be a lot of, even though it's only 250 or 260 stitches, that's going to take me a little while. And then, I mean, I guess the most logical thing to do after I finish filling in the flowers would be to either pull the hair and skin color out of the DMC chest, or I could stitch the basket. And I'll probably just stitch the basket and like its little metal handles, you know, and then maybe I'll be done for a little while. But then my goals before my birthday, obviously I said this would get done before my birthday. It's only 3,000 stitches, 3,030, 300 something. It's not too bad. But I want to finish my Orca, my Killer Whale piece by Sue Coleman, because I'd like to have that finished in about, I just realized that the deadline that I would like to have that finished by is in like 6 weeks. It's probably not gonna happen. But I'd like to make really good progress on it. And then my other goal would be, I'd really like to finish Nora Corbett's Foxglove by my birthday, because it was a birthday start. I kind of have this thought, idea, wish of like every year on my birthday starting, I have 3 pixies that I want to stitch, Foxglove, Snapdragon, and Geranium. And I have the patterns for the other 2, but I didn't kit them up. But, you know, I wanted to have the patterns because you never know when these things are going to go out of print. But I just kind of have this arbitrary desire that every year on my birthday I would start a new pixie for 3 years. But that, for me, I don't want to start another one until the first one's finished. So I'd like to finish that. But again, that is another lofty goal. They're both very sizable. So yeah, we'll see. But those are kind of, and then I don't know what else I would work on I mean, that's only, my birthday is only 3 months away. So I don't know that I could work on anything else in that time. But we'll see. I also, as far as in the relatively near future, one of my other Gilmore Girls pieces is also pretty close to a finish. I'm also like at 60-ish% on. Actually, that is the last thing you saw. That was what I was working on in my last Flosstube, was the other Gilmore Girls piece from Forbidden Fiber Co. And it just has the 2 big medallions left. So I would also like to have that finished this year. So yeah, those are my very loose plans. You know me, I stitch what I want when I want. But yeah, so thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for subscribing and watching and spending some of your time with me. I hope to be back in another month or so. I'm thinking maybe I'll try like a vlog style of recording where I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready to stitch. This is what I'm stitching on. And then like, here's my progress for the night, you know? And maybe I could like splice that together, you know, over the course of like 10 days maybe. Cause like sometimes in a week, I feel like I don't stitch enough, but certainly over 10 days. Cause sometimes I go 2 or 3 nights. If I'm in like a bad sleep cycle where I don't get my nighttime stitching or whatever, but maybe I'll try it. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I shoot the footage and then scrap it and don't use it. Because like for me, just like sitting down to do this can feel very overwhelming, very daunting. Then you gotta put everything away. But if every time I stitched, I was just like, this is what I did tonight, you know? That might be better. So yeah, all right, well, again, thank everybody. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.